Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gypsy Poet Radio here on blogtalkradio.com/GypsyPoet. I am the Gypsy Poet, Sophia. This afternoon, we are continuing the Girl George Talks to Her Rock Star Friend series. Really, yes. Very exciting series, and it's one of my favorites, actually. And just getting to know some of Girl George's friends, I'm bringing them over to GPR on BTR. So I would like to call in and reel in, as I like to say, Girl George and her wonderful friend, Nick Scott. Nick Scott, where are you? I'm tapping in the dark here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I am here. I'm sitting on my couch in beautiful Echo Park, California, and
that's
just,
L.A., by the way.
Totally
Not
curious.
everyone knows.
Exactly, yes.
Yes.
I'm totally curious as to what in the world she's going to pump me for. It's going to be hilarious.
Yes.
She's in Texas, and I'm in Berkeley, so.
Yes, absolutely.
This is
welcome to the modern world.
Hookup here.
Awesome. Okay, I have a few questions for you. I've got a bone to pick with you, Mr. Scott.
Oh, God,
okay.
Here we go.
Yes, absolutely. I have a question. Well, I have a ton of questions, but I'm going to start with just a few since I am a half-hour show. My first question here is, let's talk a little bit about some of your projects that you're working on now, and then we're going to go backwards on the timeline. So let's talk about these projects that Girl George has been promoting everywhere and just been rocking the bullhorn here.
Okay. Well, currently I'm in a band called the Swords of Fatima, which is my total pride and joy. I freaking love it because I'm playing with this amazing girl named Buko Pangera, who is absolutely fantastic guitarist, and so, like, I mean, to sound corny, I guess I'd say she's out of the box, you know, because she just really writes completely and totally uniquely, and it makes my job as a drummer, like, insanely hard because I have to try and figure out what on earth I can play to that crazy stuff, and it's like the coolest thing ever. And we just released our new CD. It's called Monsoon and Sandstorms, and CD Baby has it. Everybody has it. Amazon, all that stuff. And you can find us on Facebook. Just type in Swords of Fatima into Google and find us, or, you know, just Swords of Fatima in Facebook and it'll find us. But, yeah, that's basically the main thing I'm doing. And then my other band, Project K, is rising from the ashes, so to speak, where we half-finished a CD way back there in, like, I think 2003, and it just sat there on tape for all that time until now, and now we've we fired up the old Tascam deck, put the tape reel back on there, relearned the songs, re-recorded them, and now we're, and then threw in all the new ones we've written since then. And so I don't even know what we're going to do because there's, like, CDs worth of tunes here. It's just crazy, and I'm just like, my God, it's like they won't fit on a CD. It's not possible. They're going to have to come out with a couple of them, and so that's pretty funny because Project K is very much an analog recording situation where we do it all with the Tascam and, you know, ribbon mics and things like that, and a really old Soundcraft board, and it's like, you know, ancient history. It's like archaic as all hell, but the Swords, in contrast, do it totally with Pro Tools. And we do it down in Orange at a place called Pot of Gold. Our good pal Dave Irish does it for us, and he's awesome. He also does Real Big Fish and a litany of other bands. I mean, he does tons of stuff.
When are you playing the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood?
Oh, my God. I believe that's this Thursday. It's totally weird. And I'm just like, Hollywood, really? And, like, Buko's let's do it.
I would love to play that place. It's really cool.
It's just weird as hell, though. I mean, we're used to, like, you know, little scuzzy bars. I mean, be they in Paris or in downtown Los Angeles or Portland or Seattle or wherever, that's usually where we wind up. And to play, like, a venue like that was just so weird. I mean, I'll do it. I'll play any place once, but it is a strange thing.
So you're playing there next Thursday?
Yeah, exactly.
That's
and I'm
cool.
just like, boy, this is
You
weird.
just got back from Europe? Where, Italy or all over Europe?
No, we just did, it was mostly a French-based tour, so basically all over France. And that was great. And we visited our friends in Belgium, but we did not play there. We wanted to play in Brussels, but it just fell through, so gave it up. And
so the French people like you?
Oddly enough, they did, and it was completely an amazing thing for me because I'd never been to Europe in my life, and I've always wanted to go, and by God, there I was. And I was like, boy, I hope this crappy, you know, high school French works on these people, and it did. It was perfect. I had absolutely no problems at all. And all these rumors about, you know, they're so arrogant and they're going to treat you terrible and they hate Americans and everything. I really didn't see a lot of that. I thought they were really welcoming and fun, and they showed us, all their cool little towns, and it was just an amazing experience.
I love French people. Some of my biggest fans are French. They
that's
come in
great.
the club and they just love that craziness.
I mean, there's dicks in every culture, and like to peg the whole race as being like that is incomprehensibly stupid, because once you get there, you find out that it's just not the case at all. I mean, yeah, there's rude people, and the cab drivers are annoying as all hell, but I mean, where's the last time you ran into a cab driver in New York City who treated you really nice? I mean, get out of here.
Isn't that the truth? I wanted to ask you a little bit more about France here. Okay. I wanted to, because from what I'm understanding, also your music is very inventive. I think because what I'm connecting here is like one thing about the French that I've come to discover quite a bit is that they're very inventive people. And I wanted to ask, is like being in that environment, did you find the atmosphere very inspiring in that way?
Yeah. Well, the cool thing was we played with French bands that are not quintessentially like, they don't fit the standard model. Like most French punk rock bands sound exactly like British punk rock bands or even American punk rock bands. And the two bands we played with, the Perfect Idiots and the Golden Zip, were both completely different and weird and out there, and I just loved it. I thought they were just incredibly strange guys. And also the Golden Cadillac. For some reason we were playing with bands that had golden in their name, or gold, and I was just like, what the? Everybody's called Gold something here in France? It's like, what is this? But yeah, they were great, and everybody, it's just funny to watch them because they look at you like it's a science experiment when you first start. They're like, what is this? And then gradually they warm up, and by the third song, then they're going. But it was just, an incredibly, like, reserved, polite clapping at the Paris shows. It was just completely high, except for the Vortex, which was great. The Vortex is fantastique. It's superbe, we would say. It's absolutely
that's awesome.
Wonderful,
now, Pop
wonderful
Defect,
club.
how about them? Now, that's where I know you from, is Pop Defect at Al's Bar in L.A. back in the day. Now, you were the hottest thing going in L.A. Pop Defect. And they used to tour in a van, and Nikki here used to write these little comic books by hand about the van breaking down and getting caught in the mud and drinking Bergie, I think it was.
Yes, I know. God rest
out
his
of
soul.
places. And my daughter was about 8 years old, and she loved your comic books. Okay, tell me about that.
Yes.
Tell me about Pop Defect and the comic books. How's that?
Oh my God! Well, that whole thing just like I didn't even know. It was like Pop Defect formed in Seattle in about 1980-81, and Al got a scholarship to go to USC, and thereby putting the band in a total kibosh situation where we were screwed because he lived down here and we were up there, and so we could play on spring break and we could play on the weekends, but or when he could get up there. But that was it. And so
Al was lead singer and guitar player, right?
Exactly. And we didn't,
keep
Al
going.
Anderson,
keep going.
He was great. And Charlie Hutchinson, the bass player, and Al Anderson and me, Nick Scott, all were the members of Pop Defect from the day it started till the day it ended, and there's never ever been any other members of Pop Defect, and never ever will be, because I just can't see that weird chemistry ever being duplicated with other people ever. It's just like that was just it was like a reason for being in a weird way. I lived and breathed it. It was fantastic.
So you came down to L.A. and found Al's Bar.
Exactly, and that was really
there.
funny because we walked in there and Charlie wasn't even 21 yet, and he was the only guy who didn't get carded. Like, we and Al walk in there with our baby faces and they just slap us right away.
Charlie,
wait a minute, where do you think you're
older.
going? Yeah, they didn't believe us at all. They kept looking at the license over and over, and I was just like, I'm telling you.
I was in a play
man.
with Charlie there. We were like cowboy singers in the play they had at Al's Bar. Me and Charlie and some other guy.
I believe I saw that performance.
Yeah, it was an abortion. It was actually written. My part was for the guy from Sandy Duncan's Eye. So they had me with a patch, and he didn't want to do it. So they ended up saying, "Well, get George to do it. She can do it." And so the part was written for another guy, and so they gave it to me.
Bob.
But it wasn't a sexual thing; it was just singing. And then I had to write all the music for it because that guy, Sandy Duncan's Eye, was supposed to write the music, and and he didn't want to do it, so it was me and Charlie and some actor they got for the third part. You should have been in it. How come you weren't in it?
I don't know. I think I just came down there and got drunk and watched it.
It was funny, though.
Oh, it was hysterical. Oh, Al's Bar had so much crazy stuff going on. I mean, my God, some of those weird plays and stuff was
yeah,
just
they
like...
threw stuff at you if they didn't like you. It was called No Talent Night.
Oh,
the
yeah.
open mic. And if they didn't like you, they threw their cups at you. So there'd be this big hail of cups going at the stage, and the people on the stage would throw it back, and it'd be going back and forth. They never threw it at me because I'd jump off there and kick their ass if they did. One guy tried it
we
once.
got pelted all
and
the
I
time.
jumped off the stage, and Mark says, "Don't fuck with George."
I think
and so they never threw it at me, but everyone else got it.
Oh, yeah, well, I mean, that was just kind of like, you just had to expect that at Al's Bar. When you'd play, it's like, even if they loved you, they'd still throw beer on you. I mean, it was going to happen.
Sometimes they threw chicken bones. I see chicken bones.
Chicken bones. I don't know if we ever got chicken bones. We certainly got pelted with all number of different stuff, that's for sure.
Oh, my God. Okay.
What about those comic books you made? How did you start those out?
Oh, my God. I don't even know. There was just like, we were trying to think of a way to promote the band. And, you know, everybody was passing out flyers back in the day. And I was like, well, what if we passed out something that was more than a flyer, that, like, not just, like, advertised the show, but, like, you know, talked about the band and what the hell our whole reason for being was, and the tours and all that kind of stuff. And that's how it started, and the first one was like, you know, who the hell are these guys was the first one or something.
They were funny as hell. And I think mostly your purpose in life was Bergie, wasn't it? Wasn't
oh,
that
yeah,
Bergie?
It always revolved around drinking Bergie and driving long hours, and, yeah, it was
and the band breaking down in the mud, I remember that.
Always, yeah, oh, yeah, God. We went through, like, I think at last count, I think we were counting them up the other day, and I think... well, rumors are that there are 8 or 9 of them, but I think there's actually 10 because we had this really crappy one first, and it didn't last long, man. We destroyed that thing, but like, yeah, we were just known for slaughtering vehicles. We just kill them, you know, because they just can't take it. You drive across Canada and it's like freezing sub-zero temperatures, and then next thing you know, you're in Texas and it's boiling hot, and
you guys played up in Canada
like
too?
Going, help me. Oh, yeah.
You guys played up in Canada, too?
Did a lot of that, yeah. Canada was great. When I saw Montreal for the first time, I knew I had to make it to France on one day, because I was just flabbergasted. And they're two very different cultures. I'm not trying to compare the two, because they hate that anyways, but because it is really different. And they always act like the people from Montreal in Paris. They act like the people from Montreal are stupid, like they're hicks, because they have this weird provincial accent. And the only people who talk like that in France are people who live in rural communities or, you know, off the beaten path. They're not city slickers. And so when you hear somebody speaking that accent, the French just generalize and go like, okay, well, that must be like some bum, you know, from, you know, a hick town or something. And the Montreal people get really offended because they're like, dude, I'm smarter than you. It's like I run this huge corporation. I'm like, you know, make 7 figures. It's like, don't be talking to me like I'm like an idiot. I'm not, you're like, just because I have a regional accent does not make me stupid, and that's a serious bone of contention with them. But wow, what a place, Montreal! I mean, my God.
What's the hottest club in L.A. now that Al's Bar is non-existent?
I would say the closest thing to an Al's Bar. It used to be kind of Mr. T's was a little bit like that, but
Where's
I never
that
really. Yeah, I never even really touched Al's at all. Al's is just the place. I mean, everybody played their replacements and the Meat Puppets and frickin' Jesus Lizard. Everybody was nuts. But so I would say right now, currently my favorite
played at Al's Bar at one time.
The what? What did?
Nirvana played there. I've seen videos of
that's true. I saw that one, and they were not that good either. I remember it was when they had their old drummer, I think.
Yeah, and Fish Karma. Did you ever see Fish Karma?
Oh, hell yeah.
Die like a dog, and God is a groovy guy.
Yeah, he's hysterical.
He's in Arizona now.
Yeah,
he's on my Facebook if you want to find him. He's still doing his crazy shit up there in Arizona.
Is he still playing? Oh, that's great.
He's still playing. I think he's got a PhD now. He's been teaching in order to, he had a wife and 2 kids.
Yeah, it's amazing what people've gone off to do. It's
so
like
he was teaching high school and got a PhD, but he still plays on the weekend and still does God is a groovy guy, honk it down and die like a dog.
God, he's still doing the old songs. Be that silly man.
So what's Charlie doing now? What's Charlie doing now?
Charlie actually made good on his promise that he made, like, somewhere, he doesn't even remember this, but somewhere in the 90s, like, probably like 95 or something, or maybe even as early as 91, we were in Montana, and we were sitting in the van, and we had to keep it running because the engine block would freeze if we didn't. And so we didn't have, like, a fancy heater to plug into the oil pan, so we just had to keep the thing running while we, like, loaded our stuff out of the thing, the club and stuff, and then put the car in the garage to keep it warm so it could start again without throwing the block. And we were just sitting there, and Charlie was like, I'm not going to be able to do this crap forever, man. He was like, we were all burnt. It had been a long drive, and so Charlie and I are sitting out in the van, and he, of course, is partaking in all sorts of illegal substances while I drink, and we're sitting there, like, shivering away, and Charlie goes, I think I'm going to move back to Seattle and probably find a nice girl and have a kid. And I was just like, are you out of your mind, man? I'm like, we're in freaking Montana, and you're like, when are you planning to do this? And he goes like, I don't know, I'd give the band 20 years, and then move back to Seattle and find this girl and have that kid. And I'm just like, you're the weirdest guy I've ever known in my life. Years from now, you were planning to, like, break up the band, move back to Seattle, get this girl, and have a kid? It's like, I can see you being good with kids, but this is just like, nobody has a plan like that, dude. Not like so
He's
far away.
He's a tourist. They plan ahead of time. My daughter's like,
boy, did he. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. Him and his sister do-si-doed with his house that they owned together. He bought her out, and she moved down here into his old apartment, which is beautiful. And so she scored, he scored, and then he got the girl and has a little baby. He has a little girl now, Ivy. She's probably like, oh, my God, what is she, like 11 now, 12?
Is he still playing the bass?
He is. He plays in, I believe the band's name is Milk Maiden's Crawl, and they're not my cup of tea, but they're not horrible. So it's
Does he have a straight job on the side?
He works for I think it's the 46th Street Ale House. It's a really popular, like, eating establishment, and he was always a killer waiter, so, just natural for him.
Oh, he's a waiter, so that he makes money there to support the wife and kid.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
And he's like the main manager guy there, so he's moved up the pole, and I suspect one day he may even own a place of his own, knowing that guy.
That's what Zully did of the Lovin' Spoonfuls. He ended up buying a restaurant called Chez Piggy up in Canada, and had this huge restaurant up there until he died about 10 years ago.
Wow.
I guess from all that pig. He died of a heart
attack. Yeah, it was too much pork. Did him in.
Yeah.
Easy on the bacon there, buddy.
What happened to Al, the singer?
Al is good. I see him. I just cat sit his cats while he was away, actually, with his gal and his little boy Jack, and they were off vacationing, and so I took care of their cat and hung out at the place a little bit.
Is he still singing, playing?
He does stuff on the side, but I never get to hear it. It's like he did like a soundtrack for the making of Master and Commander, and it's actually pretty good too. I heard it and it was awesome. But like, I mean, as far as like playing in punk bands and doing that sort of thing, he really doesn't. He's pretty much a family guy. Stays at home.
So you're the only punk that's left in that group, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that.
I always thought that you were the real punk there.
I'm the most juvenile of all of us, and I got that in spades. I still sleep with stuffed animals every night. I got girls are just mystified by how weird I am. It's just like, I just don't know what to do. It's like I'd love to be somebody else and be more successful or something, but it's just not in the cards. It's like this is. I mean, I'm doing good, for a little punk rocker. I've like socked away a fair amount of stuff in the stock market, and I'm just beating ass lately. I just can't even believe it. I had this goal, make like. I wanted to be, like, when I got, like, super old, I was like, I got to make sure by this age that I have tons of money, and God, if I didn't do it. And mostly because of super low overhead. I live in the punk rock house, and it is cheap. God bless my landlord. I love that dude.
Well, I ended up living with my daughter. My daughter lives upstairs with her 2 kids and her husband. I live downstairs, and I take care of the 2 grandkids that are 6 and 3 when they go to work. So that works out. I'm still around my daughter, and I got my grandkids, and I play every week at the Missouri, and I run an open mic, and I write a new song every week to play. I've always written a new song every week.
Yeah,
so whatever is happening that week is in that song. So I'm still out there doing it. I never needed that much money, so that never really mattered that much.
Oh yeah, I don't even. I'm telling you right now, it's like if you want to do this, if you want to be in bands and play punk rock and drive around the country and go do Europe and all that stuff, don't do it for the money because you're an idiot.
Yeah.
And you're going to be really unhappy. And even if you get a major label record, it doesn't matter.
Okay, Nick, I have a question for you.
Sure.
You got filmmaking on your list of accomplishments?
Well, like moronic filmmaking, yeah. Like I'm no good at all. Al is a much better cinematographer and director guy than I'll ever be. I mean, he's and a lot of my friends have gone on to become big, well, not like big league directors. They're not like Bryan Singer or anything, but I mean, they're pretty huge. I mean, my friend Kevin, he directed all those last Saw movies. I mean, he and those things are cha-ching, cha-ching. He has a really, really nice house, It's like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people that I know have gone on to become just huge, in their fields.
Yeah.
It's incredible, which is awesome, because I always knew they were like, super smart and stuff. It's not. You just can't see them not succeeding. You're like, no matter what they're going to do, it's going to be good. And then they all went their different ways and have all done miraculously well. It's fantastic.
Well, the reason why I'm asking is because Girl George had posted some links of some films on my page, and so I thought to myself, that'd be a nice question to ask. So that's why, So that's
that Live Was This trailer. How do you get their action movie from Live Was This? That's really cool. Movie.
Yeah, that's a good question. We need to hound a guy named Brad Vanderberg, but I'll be going up for his 50th birthday here in February, so I'm going to put the screws to him and say, come on, man.
Tell him to put it up on YouTube and put some ads on it. That way, everyone can see it and they can make money off of the ads they put on it.
Just put the damn thing online already. It's just stupid. I mean, come on.
Because
people bug me about it all the time.
If you put an ad on it.
Yeah, I guess, but it just drives me nuts that like everybody bugs me for that, and they want the 10-inch of Ode to Billy Joe, and I'm like, oh my God.
Isn't that on YouTube?
Well, Ode to Billy Joe is not. That's a difficult thing. We've tried digitizing the vinyl, and it just sounds crappy. I mean, like, we have high-end converters and everything, and it still just doesn't sound very good. It loses all the oomph for some reason. I'm not sure why that is.
Well, you got that Brenda, Every Day is Brenda Day, where Charles is in drag.
Oh, yeah, that video is awesome, yeah. I love that one. And Brad was like, you're going to have to smoke a lot of cigarettes in this, dude. And I was like, what? And like now here I am on the e-cigarette years later, just like, screw that real cigarette stuff.
I put that up there. People think it's a girl. People think it's a real girl.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, he makes a good chick, I got to admit. Not that I've kissed him or anything. I don't know anything about that.
Oh, that is amazing. Okay, so tell me something. What are you looking forward to doing in 2013?
That's a good question. Buko and I were talking last night, and we were thinking a return to France is probably something that we want to do, and she's even thinking Spain and some Germany, and that would be like adventuresome. I mean,
Germany would love you. I got a lot of friends on Facebook that are in Germany. They would love you.
Yeah, and I think we'd beat ass in Berlin, too. That would be awesome. And that place is so cosmopolitan. I mean, like, they speak English everywhere. It's like, that's a truly insanely diverse place. It's fantastic.
Have you played in England yet?
The tour there would be good. I'd love to get another CD out, because we've been doing one a year here for the last 3 years. Except for the last one, which took a year and a half. But that's because, Buko's job's very taxing and it's serious, and so, can't be messing around when it's busy, and no time for us. So That's the way that works. But I mean, we could do it easy. It's like I was listening to just the stupid ideas we've been recording, and I'm like, my God, we developed these things. It's another CD right now. I was like, my God. Because it's just effortless to work with her. I mean, it's like magic or something. I mean, writing with Pop Defect was really easy, too, and I've actually been blessed in the fact that I've never had to work with crappy musicians, ever. Everybody I've ever played with has been great and are really talented and serious and perseverant, and like they just kick ass. Everybody's great. So I hear these horror stories about playing with crappy drummers and bass players and guitarists and stuff, and I'm just like, wow, I've never known that. It's just,
the drummers,
but I don't know what you're talking about.
The drummers are the hardest ones to get. You know, you can find a front man around every corner or a bass player, but the drummer is the hardest to get a good drummer. So you really have your pick of the litter when you're the drummer, because there ain't that many good drummers.
Well, there are
most
good drummers,
of them are crazy and a pain in the ass.
Yeah, usually they're in a band already, so it's like, if you want the good one, he's already taken, so you're screwed.
That's what happened with the Beatles. Boy, when they got famous, they grabbed the guy they wanted.
Yeah, they sure did. Yeah, they dumped Best, didn't they? Like, you're out of here.
Yeah, sorry, boy, we can afford better now.
It's like, yeah, this guy's cooler than you are, man. He does weird stuff. We're getting him.
So tell me something. Where can we find your stuff? Okay, I know about Swords of Fatima. I want you to talk a little bit about that. Where that can be found. Pop Defect and Project K. Where can all this be found? Is what I want to know.
Sure thing. Most of the Pop Defect stuff is available. There's still like CDs out there that you can actually buy if you wanted them, and you can download the tracks and all that stuff. I think Amazon's got it, and maybe even CD Baby has it. I don't know. I haven't really. I know CD Baby has like all the Swords catalog, because we go with them immediately, because they're like, we just like them. They have a cool business model, and they're and they're fair to the artists, and I love all that stuff. And they take much less of a cut than Amazon.
You can find them all over YouTube too.
Yeah,
and you
can
there's
find
Nick Scott on Facebook. Facebook, and find his links from there.
Yep. Or you can just type in
it's easy to remember.
Swords of Fatima is super easy. You type that in, or Pop Defect into like a search engine, and boom, you'll have it. Google will find it instantly.
Absolutely, that's amazing. Because I've actually been looking around and checking out your stuff, and it's got some mojo to it.
Yeah, what in the world is that stuff? What do we think we're doing, anyways?
Anyway, mojo is actually a term that I use. It's like it's got some pump to it. It's got something that people can really get into. It's my lingo, basically. It's GP lingo, so you got to get used to that.
Gotcha.
Yes, it's my language. I actually have. I speak two languages besides English and Greek. I actually have one what I like to call Sophia or GP lingo. Yes, I have my own lingo, and a lot of people kind of figure it out. It's basically I just know how to speak in metaphors because I'm really quick with it. I use metaphors and zingers and you name it, I use it, kind of thing. And mojo is sort of the term that I use, sort of like that thing, that substance. And it's like when I say something, like when I say you got the most Joe for the mojo,
Well, when you're driving around in a van with three guys, like for endless hours, it's like you begin to form your own language, whether you want to or not. Pretty soon, you're using terminology that the average person is just going to think is like, what the hell does that mean? They don't even know. But for instance, we played this bunk show in Milwaukee one time, and I was watching the footage of it. It's in Live With This in the documentary, and it's hysterical because after the show, you just see Al. He's packing up his gear and he's putting the cords away and stuff, and he goes, Florida, and then Charlie goes, Florida, and then I go, fucking Florida. It's just hysterical, and it's just like, and that's code for like really horrible show, like because we had an awful time in Florida. It was terrible.
Oh my God. Well, anyways, I got to let you know that I'm down to like the last minute of my program here, and I want to say thank you to both Girl George for starting the series with me. Girl George talks to her rock star friends on Gypsy Poet Radio, which I'm very, very grateful. Please, folks, whenever you get the chance, and especially right after the show, go check out Nick Scott on YouTube. Go check out Pop Defect. Go check out Swords of Fatima, and go check out what's that last project you got? Project K,
Project
correct?
K. Yeah, Project K has a MySpace thing, but not a Facebook yet. But we got to take care of that because the new record's going to come out after 12 years.
Yes, absolutely. So please be sure to check out Nick Scott and his projects here. You know, go on Facebook, go on MySpace, go on YouTube, go look at the links, go check them out because I think that it's got some great stuff. I've listened to it myself. I'll be posting on Facebook later on this evening. So everybody, I just want to say thank you so much, Girl George, Nick Scott. This is the Gypsy Poet saying adio for now.
Awesome.
Yes.
Ciao.
Ciao.
It says ciao. Oh, that's
ciao.
hilarious.
Ciao. Is that Italian?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Why in the world does it say ciao? That's hysterical.
No, maybe they're hungry. It's time for dinner.
Yeah, exactly. The pot.